Hi everyone, and welcome to the Franchising Matters video series brought to you by Reshift Media. My name's Steve Bjors, and I'll be your host. Today, I'm joined by Ken LeBlanc, who's the president and CEO of PropertyGuys.com, a North American real estate marketing franchise network. Under Ken's leadership, PropertyGuys.com has expanded its operations to 10 provinces and territories with nearly 100 franchise locations serving home sellers in 600 communities across North America. The company has recently ventured into the United States with a master franchise agreement for the state of Florida and 2 area developer agreements for New England and Connecticut. Ken's commitment to mentorship and entrepreneurship is evident through his involvement with organizations such as Futurepreneur Canada and the Canadian Franchise Association. He actively mentors fellow entrepreneurs and franchisors, inspiring the next generation of business leaders. Ken even awarded a franchise license as a prize on a special live edition of CBC's Dragon's Den, which I got to hear more about. And that just showcases his unique approach to supporting emerging businesses. That is quite a resume, and I will say that is the abridged version. Ken has such a background in franchising. Welcome to the show, Ken.
Awesome, Steve. Thank you very much for having me.
We've known each other for some time, and I know a lot about Property Guys, but just for the few people who might not have heard of this great franchise, why don't you tell us a bit about PropertyGuys.com?
Sure. Well, by the way, 25th anniversary, so we're going on 25 years.
Amazing.
So it's not more, been a long, long time. Yeah.
That's great.
Originally, Property Guys started. It wasn't a school project, but Jeremy, my co-founder, and Walter and I were all university students. And at the time, we basically wanted to supplement our income while we're going to school. So we created a little website called PropertyGuys.com. And it was primarily a private sale bulletin board. People in the local Moncton market could list their house on our platform for a couple $100. We put a sign on the front lawn and wished them all the best, and they dealt, directly with private buyers and sellers. That was 25 years ago. Today, PropertyGuys.com is a full-blown, all services included real estate license side, a part of our business. We still have maintained the private sales side, so we give consumers pro-choice. So you can do as much or as little as you like to help buy or sell a house through our platform. So you can list today just privately on the PropertyGuys.com platform, or if you want to be on the MLS, you can list with our licensed partners. If you want us to show your house, offer, negotiate, pricing, all the above, all the bells and whistles in real estate involved on it today. What makes us unique, though, Steve, is that we're not like a traditional real estate company. We don't charge a commission based on the value of your home. We charge a flat fee for the amount of services you want to select from us. So you come to PropertyGuys.com, I want package A, I want to do this, this, and this, and this. We give you a price point for that service, not based on the value of your home. So that's the unique proposition of our model today.
Amazing. Well, and given the appreciation of house prices in parts of Canada, that is a heck of a good deal, boy.
It's a sweet deal. Yeah, we try to compete, and it really varies. But for the most part, we're about 10 times less than what you'd pay a traditional real estate agent.
10 times?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
In 25 years, congratulations. What an accomplishment. So many businesses don't make it past year one, so you're doing a tad better than that, I would say.
We're hanging on. We're hanging on.
Hanging on, indeed. Now, I had heard before you were on Dragon's Den, but tell me a bit about that. I got to hear this story.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We're about, I would say, 7-8 years into our franchise development. So from that local startup in Moncton, a couple of university students doing something local, we got into franchising to expand our brand. And about 7 years into that, we thought, how can we actually get our name out there a little differently? We started with guerrilla marketing. We've always been a guerrilla marketing type of company. I got a lot of stories on how we did bootstrapping in the early days. But one of the things, and this is one of the things I've mentored, was through Futurepreneur. So Futurepreneur is a program that helps young entrepreneurs start their business. We actually went through that program, PropertyGuys.com, ourselves when we started our company. So we were working with them very closely. We presented them with an idea, say, hey, how about this? We want to get some young people involved in our business. We were young at that time. We were young, we were hip, we were a .com, so we wanted to attract some young entrepreneurs to our franchise opportunity. Well, we worked with the fine folks at Futurepreneur who had a contact with CBC and said, here's what we want to do. We want to give a franchise away to a young entrepreneur, but not just give it away. We want them to earn it. So we did is we created this national contest where they would have to pitch their, tell us why you deserve a franchise. So we had about 100 applicants from coast to coast. We narrowed that down. And basically the way we narrowed it down to get to the Dragon's Den, we had 3 finalists on the Dragon's Den. But the way to narrow it down, we basically got them to post their video on YouTube. And it was amounted for likes. So whoever got the most amount of likes got to be the one of the finalists. So they would have to promote it within their center of influences, obviously get their community behind it and rally. So we had 3 finalists. We did a live edition. I was an honorary dragon for one day. So I got to sit on the panel, and we had the 3 young entrepreneurs present their why they deserve a PropertyGuys.com franchise for their community. Went through the whole exercise and actually awarded a winner right there live on stage. So it was pretty cool.
I love it. What a story. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. What experience, too. I mean, and again, this is like, very early days of social media. So, like, YouTube was the thing back then. There was no TikTok or anything like that. So I think, like, even back then, I think the top viewer, it didn't have to be in the winner, but the top viewer had almost like 10,000 likes, like thumbs up. Now, they could have hacked the game back then, who knows? But they had 10,000 likes to get them to the finalists. We flew all 3 of them out to Toronto, and we shot it right there live at CBC.
Oh, so much fun. What a good story. I'm glad I asked, because that's a good one.
Now you know.
Well, and so Ken, 25 years. Well, what's a secret of your success? You don't have to give away the real secret sauce, but what do you attribute your success to?
Honestly, I think there's 2 words that we've always asked from day one, Steve, and there's what's next. I think one thing for us is we never really settled on. We did have some early success locally in Moncton with our university venture, but we didn't stop there. So how can we grow? What can we do? I talked earlier about how we expand our offering. We started with just a private sale platform. You don't go from a private sale platform to a full suite of real estate services, now rentals and all those other things without asking what's next. So I think, for me, anyways, as an entrepreneur, I'm I get bored easily. So I love the fact that I can always start something new. So it's 25 years, but I see it as a 25-year, 1-year startup 25 times. And always asking what's next and how can we get better? How can we attract, more franchisees? How can they attract more customers? So just consistently asking what's next and never really settling for the status quo. And especially in real estate, very, very competitive industry. As you may know, so just being different and carving your niche out and trying to grind it out every day. It's been a lot of fun. It still is a lot of fun. But just, I think those keywords is never really saying we made it. Like, I don't consider myself successful yet. Yeah, 25 years is probably pretty good. And when I look back, I'll probably be able to say, yeah, well done. But right now, we get a lot of work to do. And I love it. And that's what drives me in the morning comes to work. And the people we attract here at our home office team feel the same way. And our franchisees as well. We have some very successful franchisees that I would say successful, but they would probably say the exact same thing. I haven't made it yet. Still grinding, still making it. So yeah, that's kind of my secret of success. Not a real secret. It's just it is what it is, right? So, yeah.
Well, I love that. Continuous improvement and always looking for innovation. So
100%.
You're not wrong. So many companies get to a size and they say, okay, we're good. And they go into maintenance mode, right? How do I protect what I have? And a lot of times those are the companies that get, swallowed up or bypassed by companies that are innovative.
Yeah, there's obviously an old saying from Henry Ford, whether you're on the right track or not, if you're standing still, you're going to get run over. So big believers in that, right? So we may be on the right track, but we're definitely not standing still. So yeah.
I love that. Well, and on the topic of growth and success, so the international expansion is big news. So always tough going into another market, never mind another country. So share a bit about that. What are the trials and tribulations you've experienced?
It's been fun. It's interesting. We haven't really cracked the nut in regards of having, consumer using the service just yet. We've been able to attract a lot of leads and a lot of people who be area developers or master franchisees, but it has been a challenge. I mean, one of the challenges we have in the U.S. is the same challenge I find that a lot of franchisors have in Canada even is, we got to 100 units, which is very rare in franchising. As you know, in the Canadian Franchise Association is made up of 90+% of the locations have less than 5.
Yeah.
So, and how do you get over that hurdle? and our franchisees and our master franchisees and area developers are having that same struggle that most franchise systems have. The secret we've done way back in the day was we really were fortunate to find and really set the bar in regards to selecting the right franchisees for the first 10. We had a 10 and 10 kind of deal. When we first got into franchising, we took our time to get into franchising. 2 years prepared for franchise development. We researched the crap out of it. Now, this is how old I am. We had to order franchise kits back in the day. Okay, and I would get really write letters to franchisors all over North America to get franchise kits, so we could just borrow ideas out of these kits. And here's best practices, and here's what we did. So that's what we did back in the day. And then we were strategic in who we sold those first 10 units to, because one thing we knew that most franchisors don't or don't realize is that those first 10 units will sell your next 100.
Yeah.
Right? So the people who are stuck at 5, the problem they're stuck at 5 is those franchisees, those 5 are not helping them sell the next 5. They're not validating it. They don't believe in the why. They don't have the vision. We're very fortunate the first 10 pioneer franchisees really believed in our mission, our what's next mission, and they were on board for that. And it wasn't all about dollars and cents, and it wasn't about, disrupting. It was all the above. They had all those different aspects in place, and they helped us sell the next franchisee. So our international expansion, we're going through those same things. They need to find their pioneers, their believers. But it's a different story now. It's 25 years later. You should be proven in the U.S. by now. So that's the struggles they're having at this point. So we'll get over it. We're excited for it. There's lots of opportunity in the U.S., but we really, right now, tons of opportunity in Canada. Even our existing brands, there's lots of opportunity for us to, our existing franchise locations in Canada help improve those aspects as well. So, yeah.
Well, and I loved what you said, because it's so true, where if your franchisees are successful, then that proves the model. Yeah. And, again, the validation in terms of potential new franchisees wanting to talk to them and them saying, yeah, like, we got this locked in. So I couldn't agree more. And you're absolutely 100. That's an accomplishment. Yeah.
And here's a secret too, because we both say successful, but I think it's important to define success in regards to what is going to make you as a franchisee feel like you're successful. And it's not always financial. Okay. And that was kind of our secret early on. Like, we took a lot of Atlantic Canadians, which, for the most part, bought into our business for more of a lifestyle business. I remember one of our second or third franchisees in Nova Scotia. This guy was on the road 320 days a year. He had young teenage girls growing up, missing birthdays and holidays. He took a very high paying job selling medical equipment across North America to move into a small town in Nova Scotia so he'd be home with his family. Now, his paycheck took a serious, as you know, a startup company took a serious cut, but he was one of the most happiest people in the world and sold basically 20, 30 franchises on loan just because of that lifestyle business. So he defined success of, I don't want to not see my kids grow up. And this job, this opportunity I have now, this franchise that you have allowed me to do that allows me to be home every day. I go to the soccer games. I can go to the graduations now. I was missing all those things back in the day. And he was at a point in his life where he could, downsize financially to make that happen. Now, he's built a big business on the way up, which is awesome, because now he has his cake and gets to eat it too. But that was something early on, knowing that, because if his expectation was, I need to be home, but I also need to maintain that salary, it ain't going to happen. We're not the vehicle for that today. We're a startup franchise system. It's going to take some while to generate that revenue and replace that revenue. But he was cool with it, understood it. And we have all kinds of early adopter stories on that, right? So, and again, I think it's important to make sure your first units align with what success is, and that your franchise opportunity can deliver that for them. Because if you can make them successful in their mind, whether it's their financial success, whether it's lifestyle success, whether, we had people just love disrupting, want to fight with agents. This is awesome. I can fight with real estate agents every day. Thank you so much. I love it. And they were pumped. But that was successful for them because they get the battle, with real estate agents on a daily basis. So, yeah.
I love that. Well, so then let me ask the question. So what's next for PropertyGuys.com?
Yeah, we continue to grow. I mean, there's we are 2 years into the license side of our partnership with PG Direct Realty, our sister company. So we're 2 years into that. We just added rentals to our platform. So adding rentals in there, which is, as you know, the real estate industry is going to be a big thing in the next years because obviously interest rates and all the things that are tough and housing issues, rentals are going to be a big thing. So we're getting into that. We're going to continue to focus. We still only have, I would say 30-40% of the Canadian real estate market is still available for franchise development. So a big push on that.
That's great.
And then the other area, the 2 areas we want to grow in, obviously we want to add some more franchise units, but we want our franchisees to grow as well. Most of them have an operation of 3 or 4, maybe up to 6 people. We think there's capacity to double their teams as well. So focus in on growing individual locations, bigger market share, and continue that growth. So, yeah.
Well, that's great to hear that you still have that room for growth. Wow. And as you get more international, obviously, that's even bigger and bigger. That's fantastic.
100%. Yeah. No, I mean, there's always, especially in real estate, a huge opportunity, very competitive, but a huge opportunity for growth. So we're excited for that opportunity.
I love that. Well, last question then, Ken. So you're really plugged into franchising, obviously, between the CFA and your experience there and an entrepreneur in franchising. So if you had some wisdom to share with other franchisors beyond what you've already shared, what do you see as the big trend or the big thing to be thinking about as a franchisor today?
I really think, and I got this from, believe it or not, the CFA a couple of years ago. Walter Bond, you were probably at that session in Ottawa when he delivered his keynote, but it really rang true to me. It reminded me why I got into franchising. And I think too many franchisors, as they build their business and grow their business, and I don't want to say this in a negative way, but they forget about their franchisees, right? They don't invest or continue to reinvest into their franchisees. And I know we've taken the last 2 years to re-look at all of our training, all of our onboarding, all of our communication with our franchise owners to get reconnected and get involved in their day-to-day. There's nothing scarier than, buying a franchise, spending, $50,000, $60,000, coming to Moncton for a couple of days, feeling great, meeting everybody, and then going home and feeling like you're on an island all by yourself. And I was reminded of that at the CFA event in Ottawa with Walter Bond, that, we really reconnect with our franchise owners. We don't want anyone to feel that way. Yeah, they communicate with each other, but at the end of the day, they are, because we give exclusive territories. There's really no one in their backyard. Literally, they have their own territory. So just connecting with them again and making them feel like you're not alone. We got you. We're here. You got fellow franchisees here. So working closely with our advisory council to make sure that happens, creating more events like regional meetings. In lieu of a national event, we did 3 regional events. We did an East, a Central, and West, and that was by design. So we could actually have some one-on-one time with individuals, because typically we go to a national conference, 100 locations, you might get to see that pool for 5 minutes, and that's about it, or a session. We were able to go to each one of these little regional meetings and meet everybody, spend some time with them, break bread with them, and have some real good connection with their franchise home office team. So that's important for us. We'll continue doing that. And I think that's a good reminder of all franchisors as you're getting into some new things. Like, don't forget, what got you into franchising, and what keeps you in franchising. I always said this, and it just sounds cliche, but we're only as successful as our franchisee. But that is so true in franchising. It's so true. Without franchisees, you don't have a system, you don't have a business, and you don't have, as far as I'm concerned, you need to have that solid foundation with your franchisees. If they're making money, you're making money, everybody's happy.
I love that. And it's so true that if you can make sure that they're continuing to be successful, it's great. I just love it. I have nothing to add to it because it was so well said. So thank you.
No worries. All good.
So with that, I think it's a perfect place to end. So thanks, Ken, for sharing your thoughts and insights. Thanks to everyone for listening in. If you haven't done so already, I encourage you to click the like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with our episodes. Thanks everyone for your time. Thank you, Ken, for your time. And everybody have a great day.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you so much.